Hi everyone, and welcome to this video about the Singapore visa policy presented by Natvisa. This video will cover everything you need about Singapore visa policy. In this video, we'll cover all about Singapore visa policy, who needs a Singapore visa types, applying for Singapore evisa, required documents for Singapore visas, Singapore arrival card, how to apply through Natvisa, extending your Singapore visa, and why choose Natvisa. So, let's get started. Firstly, all about Singapore visa policy. Singapore has a strict visa policy. Most foreign nationals need a visa to enter the country. However, some countries are eligible for visa-free entry or an e-visa. It is important to check with the embassy whether you need a Singapore visa. Who needs a Singapore visa? First, you need to know that not everyone needs a visa to enter Singapore. Currently, citizens of 54 countries, including the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and most European countries, can enter Singapore without a visa for up to 90 days. If you're not from one of these countries, you will need to apply for a visa before you travel. You can apply for a visa online at the Singapore Embassy or Consulate in your home country. Please note that Singapore does not process visas on arrival at the moment. Singapore visa types. There are different types of Singapore visas, depending on your purpose of travel. Tourist visas are available if you are visiting Singapore for leisure purposes. Business visas are for those traveling to Singapore for work purposes. Study visas are for students who want to study in Singapore. You can also apply for a long-term visa if you plan to stay in Singapore for over 90 days. Applying for Singapore e-visa. Singapore e-visa is available to a select few countries. If you are a national of a Singapore e-visa eligible nation, you can apply for an electronic visa for Singapore. To apply for an e-visa, you can submit your application online. Now, applying for Singapore e-visa is not easy. You will need a local contact in Singapore with an authorized account who can submit your visa application on your behalf. If your application is approved, your local contact can print a copy of your Singapore e-visa for you. Required documents for Singapore visa. The application process for a Singapore visa varies depending on the type of visa you are applying for. Generally, you will need to provide a valid passport, a completed visa application form, and a recent passport photo. If required, you may also need to provide a letter of invitation from a sponsor in Singapore and proof of financial support. Singapore arrival card. It doesn't matter whether you belong to a visa-required country or are a citizen of a visa-exempt country. Everyone needs a Singapore arrival card. How to apply through Natvisa. If you are looking for a hassle-free way to apply for a Singapore arrival card, you can use Natvisa. We will take care of the entire application process so you can relax and focus on your travel plans. Step 1. Visit the Natvisa website. Click on the link found in the description box below. Step 2. Select Singapore from the list of countries. Step 3. Keep your passport handy as your passport details are needed. Step 4. Fill out the application form. Step 5. Pay the visa application fee. Natvisa will then process your application and let you know the status as soon as it's available. Extending your Singapore visa. If you need to extend your Singapore visa, you can do so at the Immigration and Checkpoints Authority office in Singapore. You will need to provide your passport, your current visa, a letter explaining why you need to extend your visa, and proof of financial support. So, why choose Natvisa? Natvisa is a trusted visa service provider that has helped thousands of people get visas and arrival cards. To enjoy a streamlined application process, apply for a Singapore arrival card on Natvisa today. Thanks for watching this video about the Singapore visa policy. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below.